So in today's level up session, we're going to be looking at discounting plan fees for special deals. So just a little bit of housekeeping to begin with. The session is being recorded, so if everyone could just remain on mute throughout the webinar. If you have any questions, just type them into the chat, and at the end we'll go through all of the questions and give you some answers. So in this session, we're going to look at what access fee overrides are and why you should use this feature to create special deals. We'll have a look at how you can configure plans to allow for overrides, and then how to apply these access fee overrides to existing subscriptions and to new orders as well. And then finally, we'll look at how you can use the import tool for bulk access fee overrides. The scope of this session is that we do have many ways to apply discounts to a customer in immersion, but we're going to focus on access fee overrides. And just to make it clear that access fee overrides don't include the ability to alter charges that are applied from usage or from rate cards. So what do we mean when we talk about a special deal? For context, the plans that you're selling, they all have a recurring fee that customers can pay to access the service. And we call this the access fee. So when you're setting up your plan in immersion, you define this fee. No matter which customer subscribes to the plan, each subscription is charged the exact same fee. And this works really well, assuming that the price never varies. And for the most part, it won't. But there are some scenarios where you do want to make a variation. So for example, a salesperson who agrees to lower the access fee for a single customer, perhaps as part of a way to sort of incentivize the customer in some way. And also, some vendors and suppliers don't have set access fees for their plans. It sort of varies between different customers. And so these are examples of special deals. They're one-off variations to the regular access fee, and they're customer specific, or they only apply to a select number of customers. So why should you discount using access fee overrides? In essence, it's just a really easy way to achieve pricing flexibility without having to go through the process of creating a new plan or worrying about manual adjustments. So in the past, without this feature, discounts could be handled using a few different methods. So you could not define the fee on the plan and rely on adjusting the card line that's already there. You could define an incorrect fee and then rely on manual adjustment after the fact. Or you could create a brand new plan specific to the scenario. But all of these options are problematic, time-consuming, and there's a bit of a risk there that the customer's going to be billed incorrectly or possibly not even at all. So the ability to override the access fee for a given subscription just overcomes a lot of these risks and issues. But there are just a few things to keep in mind when you're doing this. First is that access fee overrides are applied at the subscription level, meaning that it's only going to apply to a single subscription. For active services, an access fee override will adjust future access fees only, so you can't backdate these. Fees that are set against the package plan will always take precedence over fees that are set against the associated service plan, and overrides adopt this exact same logic. So if you have a service plan that has an override of $40 and then you have the package plan that has an override of $30, the service plan override just is not going to show up. An override will only apply if there's an existing access fee. So before you get started with creating your access fee overrides, there are just a couple of prerequisites. The package plan must already have an access fee set. The package plan has to be configured to allow the access fee to be overridden. And the access fee override has a start date that is in the future. So again, we can't backdate it. So we'll hop into Cumulus now, and I'll just demonstrate how you can configure a plan to create the access overrides, and then how you actually apply this to a customer. First, you just log into Cumulus, go to Packages and Plans, Management, and then we'll look for a service plan. So find the service plan that you want to use and search for that. So you can see here that there's an access fee already associated with this service plan, but we don't have this checkbox enabled, which will allow for the override. So we can just go in and just select Enable Fee Overrides. and then save it. You'll see that that's been saved. So now we can go to a customer who has subscribed to this plan, and we can apply any kind of override that we would like to that. So we'll just go to a customer now. All right, and we'll look at their service subscriptions. And we can see that they're already subscribed to this. And then this access fee override tab will appear. Now, if the service plan doesn't have overrides enabled, you won't actually see this tab. And you can see here that we can add an override here. It shows the current access fee on the left here, which is $80 Australian. And we can override that either in dollars or percentage. So we'll just do dollars, and I'll make that $40. We'll make the start date next month. Let's make it March 1st. And we can say that maybe it just lasts for a couple of months till the 1st of May. And now you've successfully created an override. And those access fee overrides will apply if this is a package subscription that you've applied it to, then it will apply until it's migrated by way of a service type migration or a package subscription migration. It undergoes a change of ownership, or the override is end dated and the end date passes. So in this case, after the 1st of May, it's no longer applying. For service subscriptions, much the same. It'll apply until it's migrated by way of a service type migration or a package subscription migration. It's cancelled, or the override is end dated and the end date passes. You can also apply an access fee override when you're creating an order. Now, since we do have a little bit of time, I'll also demonstrate this. So let's go and create a new order. And just need to progress, just progress until this page. You'll see under package chain details, you'll see the cell overrides. And you can override the access fee here. So the access fee for this is $90. We could, for example, again, create it for $40. Create a start date, we could say it was tomorrow, and select an end date if we wish. And then you can just save that and then continue to progress with the order. And finally, you can apply access fee overrides using the bulk import tool. So the bulk import tool provides a way to apply access fee overrides for a group of subscriptions. So if you have 50 customers that you want to apply this to at once, rather than going through every single one manually, you can just do a bulk import. So to do this, you just need to create a CSV import file. And you can find a template for this that's available on the Immersion knowledge base. The information that you need to provide is a subscription ID, the subscription type, the percentage or the price override, and just one of those, the tax type, start date, and an end date. That's optional. It can last for the entirety of the subscription. And you can access the import tool by going to admin, bulk import, access fee override. Now, access fee overrides, it's just an optional feature available to everyone. So you may already have access to this. If you don't, feel free to contact our support team or through our Engage portal, and we can set that up for you. Great, so does anyone have any questions? We went through that pretty quickly. Feel free to take yourself off mute.
Yeah, there's a question from Janet. Oh, God, I hope I said that right. To confirm, if my upstream supplier has a special deal on the buy plan, and using the demonstrated this mechanism, I can set it both on the buy and sell package. Yes, you can. So separate to what we've demonstrated here is really only putting it on the sell side, putting the price override on the sell side. There are a couple of service types where the split price isn't set at all. Either the price that you pay, or, then that affects obviously the price that you're going to sell the customer. Fibre is a good example. You have to ring the supplier for fibre, and the price based on whether there's kit at the premises, all sorts of different things. So you don't know the price that you're buying. So yes, you can provide a buy override, which will then tell the system, in this circumstance, this is what I'm buying. And then of course you can apply a sell override, which will mean that for the life of the subscription or however long you set it, this is what we're going to charge the customer. On the service plan itself for that you can, you know, you just set 0 or don't set it. But yeah, you either just put like a dollar. What we do suggest is when you're overrides, we do suggest blowing up the access fee on the actual plan so it stands out like there's no tomorrow. You know, rather than going the other way and putting 0 on the plan. 0 really, if someone forgets to do the override, if someone forgets to put that override on there, the customer will always charge nothing. And that's less likely to get picked up if the customer has been charged $9,999 for something. It doesn't stand out pre-invoice reports. So, but yes, this if your upstream supplier does have a special and they have changed the price for you, then we can turn on both buy overrides and sell access fee overrides, both levels. Otherwise, you know, by default, we would just turn on the sell. We assume that the buy prices would be the same regardless. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. The other question I had was in regards to the reporting mechanic within immersion. If you're performing these overrides, it's also changing the cost of goods sold calculation, correct?
Yeah, it certainly is. We report on this separately. So we will report on the plan and the cap expenditure that way, but we can pull a report that says which customers have overrides and what they are.
Yep. Okay. Thanks.
Cool. All right. So you have a wonderful rest of the day. We'll leave it there. And
Thanks, everyone.
thank you so much for coming.